everyone. This is Venkat. Today we are going to discuss about the procurement module in the Focus 9 ERP. If I say the procurement module, what is the procurement module? Actually, a procurement module deals with the procurement of raw materials and different type of purchases. Okay, for this procurement module, the main area of the department is purchase department. Purchase department is a part of logistics functions and it helps in managing the procurement activities of an organization. If I say about the purchase department, it is the backbone of logistics which supports all aspects of material management, planning, etc. Yeah, to manage this procurement module, there are two key steps which we need to follow. One is master data, which can be again called as item master. Okay, and the second master is vendor master. Without these two masters, the procurement module cannot be started. So make sure that the two main masters are item master and vendor master. Okay, and this is a streamlined purchasing process. The only mandatory document in this process is accounts payable invoice. Okay, to maintain the procurement module, there are 12 key steps which are involved in the process. One is determination of the goods. That means what goods are required to an organization for what purposes. Okay, based on this, the procurement process starts. Once the procurement starts, based on the determination of goods, they will search for the suppliers. Once the suppliers are identified, they will send a requisition for proposal to the vendors. Okay, when the vendors receive this proposal, okay, they will send a quotation to the end user. Okay, so once the quotations are sent, the quotations will be negotiated based on the terms and conditions. Okay, the quotation analysis is done, the vendor is finalized, and the purchase order is issued. Okay, once the purchase order is issued, then the supplier will be confirmed to which supplier the purchase order to be sent. The purchase order is authorized, okay, and it will be sent to the vendor. Now vendor will send those goods, means they deliver those goods. After successful delivery of those goods, on receipt of the material, a purchase invoice is entered into the system. Okay, based on the purchase invoice, the payment is made to vendor. The whole process can be also called as P2P process. That means purchase intent to payment process. Okay, in a short form, in every ERP, this can be named as P2P process. Okay, if I talk about the purchase module, what are the transactions involved in this purchase module? There are so many ways of taking the transaction into the purchase module. Some vendors may maintain all the purchase within one transaction. Some vendors may maintain within a different transaction. Okay, example, if you have a local purchases, you can have the local purchases in one particular transaction entry, import purchases in a separate entry. Now there are some vendors who give materials on a contractual basis. Those purchases are called as blanket purchases. Now if I tell about the blanket purchases, these blanket purchases are period based and value based. Once the from date to date is mentioned in the blanket purchases, within the stipulated period, the vendor has to supply the goods based on the value mentioned in the blanket contractual purchases. So this is how the blanket purchases will work. Again, there is one more type of purchase which is called as a consignment purchases. Now what is this consignment purchases? This consignment purchases, basically these goods are given on consignment, means the value will be mentioned in the consignment purchases, but those consignment purchases are recorded as a separate account payables. As and when these goods are sold, based on the sold quantity, the invoice will be sent to the end user. Okay, so whatever the items left within the consignment period given, those will be taken back by the vendor. Okay, there is one more purchases which is called a service purchases. Service purchases compromises of the services given to the end user. The services can be maintenance services, AMC services, or any other services. Now these service purchases again has a different flow. First the service requisition is raised. After that the service requisition is raised. On accepting this, the service purchase order is issued. After the service purchase order is issued, then once the services is done, those will be confirmed by the management person. Once the service is confirmed, then the invoice is prepared by the vendor to the end user. Then the service purchases will be taken care. Now there is one more type of purchases which is called RCM purchases. In purchases, there are two type of purchases. One is business to business purchases, which is purely based on the statutory terms. The one who doesn't have the GST registration license, those people are treated under RCM purchases. So for RCM purchases, there is a separate mechanism. It's called reverse charge mechanism. Now in this purchase, the total taxes are paid by the end user. Okay, and these taxes which are paid by the end user, this can be claimed in a different scenarios. Okay, there is one more purchases of booking in the purchase transactions which called expenses bill booking, like water, electricity, or any other charges. If you want to book, you can book in this expense purchases. When you are buying any capital items like fixed assets, these purchases can be taken into the capital purchases. So every organization to organization, we have a different type of implementation in procurement module. Where in the next video, in the upcoming videos, we will also tell you how to implement these purchases in a different scenarios. Now the same example I will show you in live Focus 9 application. Okay, to see this flow, you need to open Focus 9 application with your credentials. Okay, to start with the purchases, you have to log in with your username and with your ID. Okay, so the first transaction to start with procurement module is your material requisition. Here we have separated the local purchases and imported purchases in a different transaction entry. So today I am going to tell you about the local material requisition. The same concept you can use in import purchases also. Okay, if you see here, there is a local purchase requisition voucher is here. Okay, when you go into the local purchase requisition, you will see the header part on the top of this area is called header part, and this is the body part, and the bottom what you are showing is called a footer part. In the header part, you have a document number, document date, cost center, department. Now if you ask about why this cost center is required, in different scenarios there will be a different cost centers in a company. Okay, I have a cost center A, cost center B, and then this cost center can be treated as a branch also. Okay, so in this scenario I'm just showing you the cost center 1. Okay, from purchase department, so I can create the department name also. If you want, you can have multiple department names. If you want to specify any narration or who has requested by, you can enter the who is requesting this particular item. Okay, so I will select the required item here. I will say how many quantity I required. I'll say I need 10 numbers of this. Okay, if you want to enter any remarks, you can enter remarks. Okay, once this is saved, and here again this purchase requisition, you can even set the approvals also. So in the next upcoming videos we will tell you how to give these approvals and authorizations also. Once this requisition is raised, okay, I will show you how this workflow is defined here. Okay, I will just show you the local workflow is defined, how it is defined here. Now I have defined a workflow. Now if you see here, I have a purchase requisition voucher, a request for quote. Again, it is mentioned as local. Again, I have local purchase quotations which are sent by the vendors. Okay. Then I have a purchase order. Then I have a material receipt note, and then booking of purchase invoice. This is how the flow starts. Okay. So we have entered a purchase requisition. Okay, once the purchase requisition is entered, you can go to the request for quote. Okay, here you can press on pending local purchase requisitions. You can select this. Okay, now you can send to the different vendors. Okay, you can send it to the different vendors. So you can even mention when do you require this. We have given a required date also. I required 20th of August 2022. Then if you want to enter any remarks, you can enter. It is already remarks is copied from the purchase requisition to request for quote. Okay, if you have any different vendor, you can even select a different vendor also, or you can create a different vendor. You can even define the vendor code. It is user defined as well as predefined. Okay, I'm just saving this. Okay, here again the department you can mention as a department. Okay, so the vendor is created. I'll go to the pending purchase requisitions again. I'll select the vendor C here. Okay, now these requisitions are sent to the vendors. I just save this. Once if you feel the requisitions are sent, you can even close the indent. How to close the indent? Okay, how to close the indent? I will just show you here. Now I go to the local purchase requisitions. Okay, I just select this. Okay, I have an option here called close links. If you click on this particular requisition will not open in future. So I just close the links. It will ask you how many rows you want to close it. Even if you have a multiple products, if you want to close only for the few products, yes, you can close this. So we are closing this link so that this requisition will not open anymore in the request for quote. Now if I go to the pending purchase requisitions, you will not see that particular requisition is pending because I have closed the link. Okay, now I have sent the request to my vendor, my supplier. You can even call it as supplier or vendor, both are same. Okay, now my vendor will send me a price. My vendor will send me a price, so in the form of purchase quotations. So whatever the price I receive from my vendor, I will enter that particular transaction in local purchase quotations. Now I will go and click on pending request for quote. Now you see here you have got two RFQs from different vendors. Now I select the first one. Okay, I have received from local supplier. Now I will enter what is the rate I received. Say my vendor has given this for 100. Okay, 100. If any discounts, I can apply the discounts. If any tax values, I can even put the tax values here. Okay, then I say okay, then again I go to the pending request, then I go for the second one. This is vendor C. Assume that this vendor is given for 102. Okay, because it's a local vendor, I am just entering CGST and SGST with the taxes which are applicable for the local vendor. Okay, now this is done. Now we have, once these quotations are received, now the next transaction is purchase order. Now how to finalize the purchase order? We need to do the quotation analysis. So we have a quotation analysis here. We have a report called quotation analysis. Then you can even you will get all the requisitions raised here. You can select the requisitions. If you want only on a selective item, you can give the selective item, or you don't, you just press tab. And if you want to have only on a particular cost center, you can even select the cost center. Because I have selected cost center one, I'm just giving a cost center name and I press OK. Now you see here, I got a quotation analysis report. In this report, you see I have a product A here. Requested quantity is 10. The unit price from vendor A as quoted 100, and from vendor C I got for 102. Now from these I will select this and I'll say, if my terms are good and the price is more, I may select vendor C also. Okay, if my terms are good with vendor A and the price is less, even I can select vendor A also. So what I'll do is, I have a option here, a raise PO option is there. I can even write my remarks. Okay, I just select this. Now you see here I got a message, local purchase order 1 posted. Okay, if I go to local purchase order here, now you see this order got posted. Now I click here. Okay, this order got posted and you see the purchase quotation is also linked here. Okay, so I can even see the workflow here, which document is linked for this particular purchase order. Now we have reached to a purchase order level. Now at this level, if you want any reports, you can even have a reports. Okay, that reports can be seen in inventory, order management, and then we have purchase orders report, purchase quotation report. Then you have analysis of linked and unlinked documents. Then you have pending link status report also. Pending link status means the purchase order is raised, and if the materials are not received, you can see those reports. If you want to see the purchase orders only, you can click on this report. Okay, give the date range. Again, in the date option, there are so many options here. You can choose whatever is feasible for you. If you want to see as on date, you can see as on date. Okay, or if you want to give any specific date range, you can give date range. As of now, I am selecting as on date. Start date and end date is 15th, because my system date is 15th. So I just select OK. Okay, this is how I get the register. Even this register can be customized. You have an option here called customized. Okay, you can click here. If you want to insert any fields like narration or anything or remarks, you can insert here. Here, if you press here, you'll get all the fields here. Whichever fields you want, you just drag and drop, you'll get it here. Okay, these are the extra fields. If I want my GST or anything, I can even put it here, CGST input or SGST input. If I want to input, I can input here. Okay, if I want to input my remarks, okay, just say I want my remarks to be inputted here. Okay, I just drag and drop and save. Now you see I have got this field here which is inserted just now. If I want to elaborate this, I can click on options. I say auto adjust width. So the total fields can be adjusted within the screen width and height level. Okay, this is how you can see the purchase order register. If you want to see any link report between purchase order and GRN, okay, so what you can do is you can go to the same inventory report. Okay, go to order management. Okay, pending link status report. Okay, here I have a link. I have a link from local purchase order versus MRN. I select this link. Okay, and then select OK. Now you see this particular report is stating me that this particular document raised on this particular date for so and so item, it is still open. That means it is still not received. Okay, when I receive this item partially or fully, let us see how this report will appear. Okay, I just even go by a short method, or I can go by a menu level also. If I want to go by a menu level, I go to financials. Okay, I go to transactions, I go to purchases. Here I have all the vouchers here. Okay, if I want a MRN, I am not seeing the MRN here, but if I want to see the MRN where exactly it is, I can even check in inventory as well. I go to inventory, order management, uh, transactions. I go to purchases. Here I can see a local MRN. Now you see I have a local MRN here. Now I'll click on a pending local purchase orders. Now I will get all the pending purchase orders here. If I want to select here, I just check this or double click here. Okay, the total purchase order will be loaded here. Any fields if you want to load, like warehouse or anything where you want to store, I just selected here a place of supply, which is totally it's a statutory thing. You can select the place of supply. Okay, or it can be automatically loaded. Okay, if you want to, we can load it automatically. If you have any bill number, you can give the bill number. What is the supplier bill date, you can give the supplier bill date. Okay, here if there is any change, you can change the bill date. Okay, in case if you have received only 6 numbers, okay, only 6 numbers, you can select it. Okay, 6 numbers, you select it. Okay, you can select only 6 numbers here. Okay, you can select which link you want and then press OK. Okay, I'll just select only 6 numbers here. Okay, I'm just saving this. There is a warehouse field which is mandatory. I have to give the warehouse. Okay, I just save this. Okay, I just click on the previous item. If you see here, the local purchase order is link is not loaded. Okay, it has loaded the complete 10 items. Okay, okay, it has loaded the complete 10 items. Let us see why this is happening. Maybe we have checked the option that it has to be received full.